Like, who cares? You can still shoot. We got ourselves a Azure Shift on Team Blue with Hamburger playing that boomy. Loopy Hunt going for the more Beastmaster, I think. Nice coming back. There's a Frost DK with TM. So let's playing, I think, Assassination Rogue. We just went to another dimension just now looking for B mechs with Canny, Big mechs with Canny, with Carry, with Fortin, and Zakati going up first. Actually, it's Unholy versus whom? Versus TM Silithus, it looks like. Is he still playing that sub-rogue? Is he Assassination now? Is Shadow stepping past Ducati? I don't know if he had dots rolling. That's going to be sub-rogue, though. Stun onto him as he's surrounded by the full army of the dead, dude. He's surrounded by Lich King's army. Having to go for advantage because Ducati had such a strong open on him. And actually getting right back next to Zakati with that Abomination still rolling. TM Silithus still staying in there, trying to max the damage. But he does die to the dots and the pet damage. Unlucky, man. Scotty does end up taking him out. I like this vigor, dude. I like the fact that he was like, yo, I know I just had a lot of CDs on me, but I can still manage it. I can still do the damage. Is that a Azure Shift next? I guess now it is. He never got a restyle though. That's super lucky for Zakati. Twice, I think a rogue never got a re-stealth on him. I think they were all trying to go for an honor duel, but next to him just starting stealth. Necrotic stacking up on Azure. He's going to go for big damage onto Zakati though. Is that going to be full Vendetta? I think he's actually holding back that Vendetta for now. I'm not seeing the Vendetta animation. Azure Shift does get himself evasion rolling as Zakati just chain of icing him down. Does use the pet stun too. And as soon as he sees that transfusion, as soon as he sees that safety trinket absorb coming out, Zakati isn't going to be able to get those death strikes in. Garrote to follow by Azure. Stun into Zakati. Trinkets out of it. Could be perfect time for Vendetta for Azure Shift to just get in there. Does get a prefent rolling for Zakati's damage. This is where Necrotics might start stacking up. Zakati is still super behind on health. Might have to go for a death back here. Has Lichborn if things he needs to. It looks like Azure Shift is going to be able to get away. Is Zakati going to go for cooldowns here? Is going to drop an Abomination on one side. Azure Shift has nowhere to go. He has to fight that thing, or he has to get on top of Zakati. He got the chain of ice rolling. Try to stop, getting the shot. Lichborn coming out, getting a stun to Azure. He doesn't have a trinket. This is where the army of the dead surrounds him. That's a rogue 2.0 situation right now. And Zakati goes for a transfusion to fall and get those death strikes while the pets are doing all the work. Azure Shift even getting some necrotic stacks in there. Looks like down he goes. AMS available for Zakati. Hit Lippy Hunt, but he didn't know if that was going to be next. It looks like it is. I don't know if he's just picking him out of nowhere, but that's going to be a stun. Lippy Hunt goes, what is that Azeroth Essence? Is that the crit one? Really? Loopy, what is that? Is that Unbound Force? Who uses that? Freezing Trap on Zakati. But he's doing just fine. Has a pet in the back 2 minutes in, and it's already only 3 people left on Team Blue. Zakati chain using it over and over until Loopy Hunt does land a stun on the guy. I'm having trouble switching to people, dude. Because somebody left on Team Blue, and now I'm having to relearn what the keybinds were for each person. Dire Basilisk popping in for Loopy. Might have to go for Turtle Shell here. And Zakati is still in a bad spot. Using Transfusion to heal off of the pet. Kiting away from the Dire Basilisk. Maybe looking to grip in Loopy as soon as he gets a chance. His pet actually eating one of the freezing traps. And Loopy barely has any health right now. And down he goes. Zakati taking him out back to back to back. And Hamburger is up next as a Boomer. The Boomer of BFA. Big ol' Boomy. I like the Boomkin form though. It doesn't look as good. I like to say Boomer when you have Boomy form, but without it, it's kind of weird. Disarmor to Zakati, but Hamburger getting grip right back into the clutches of the undead Death Knight with his undead Abomination and the other pets. Hamburger just trying to weasel his way out of here. Does land a root on him as he gets far away, and that stun doesn't keep him away for too long. That's so good for Hamburger right now. He has to get himself a little bit extra resources to get some damage on Zakati. Zakati does not have AMS. He does have Lichborn. Thorns are up and running. Zakati doesn't have AMS for those. He actually might be able to burn himself down through this. Hamburger is still looking really bad. Those necrotics are doing quite a lot of healing absorb. Those pets are doing quite a lot of damage. Try to stay in bear form to get frenzied regen, and quite a lot of health comes back. Get himself to a nice comfortable 50% though. Grip by Zakati as he's relentless against the Death Knight. Against the Boomkin, I mean. And Hamburger even forced to use Crucible as a self-heal too. That is so unfortunate. Still has a little bit of necrotic. Doesn't have any health at all though. Doesn't have renewal. Wish he had one though. Barkskin up and running, has to use it early, does have disarm to Zakati if things go bad. But I think things couldn't get any worse from here for Hamburger. Does get himself a little bit of frenzied regen. Lots of healing right now. Lots of health coming back with a War Stomp. I think it's exactly what he's waiting for is that frenzied regen. I think frenzied regen and renewal all in the same row might be good for him. But he does get to bail out of that. He needs to use that mobility while he's got it to at least get away from people. So maybe mobility might be better. Hamburger is still very much on the defensive. Trying to sit and bear from why he can go for big damage. Zakati has every cooldown available, every defensive up and running. And Hamburger is going to go for a trinket. AMS available for Zakati very, very early. The Hamburger has thorns for it. Is going to get a disarm to Zakati immediately. Doesn't have a trinket for that disarm. And Hamburger got a couple of those star surges in it. Try to equalize the health for both of them. The Army of the Dead dropping in for Zakati with a massive apocalypse. Dropping in himself some big death strikes through transfusion. Hamburger still on the back foot from the day he entered this arena, the day he started fighting. Zakati death back coming in for Zakati, but him and the Army of the Dead gets rooted. Hamburger having to go for a Barkskin and regrowth, trying to get past those necrotics, but no! And down he goes. Those necrotics were way too strong. And Nyx, I think he's actually letting Zakati have an honor duel. I like how Zakati never let anybody have an honor duel, but then again, Zakati was fighting even at low health. Zakati was fighting everybody at low health. As soon as he's done with one guy, you're next, trying to min-max and go through as many people. And now he's given the opportunity to get himself a full reset versus Nyxorus. Now this is going to actually kind of a hard fight for him, because Nyx is playing that Frost DK. And with the dampening not even being low, Frost Death Knight definitely has more survivability than a Blood DK. Or I mean, than a Holy DK. Honestly, Zakati, with how tanky he has been, he might as well be a Blood DK. AMS coming out for Nyx a little bit early as he's dealing with the Abomination and all the magic damage coming out for Zakati. Staying on him. Zakati won't be able to slow Nyx down. Both of them have the same speed. And Nyx, if anything, can get the grips in, can stay on the guy. But he's taking quite a lot of damage from all those pets. This is where Transfusion might need to come out. Does have a lot of resources coming out for him. Stun comes in. He grips in Zakati back to him. Needs to get Chinovites rolling. And Zakati is going to bail out of it for a second. Getting his own Transfusion rolling. Death Strike for Death Strike. And Nyx is looking quite healthy right now. Looking quite healthy. But so does Zakati. And that's going to be, well, it looks like a mallet again thrown out by Nyx. Actually, suppressing Zakati's healing. He doesn't have necrotic strikes of his own, but that mallet has done so much work. Zakati is struggling to get those death strikes in there. Nyx is also fairly low in health, but that's going to be safe to trick forced by Zakati. Nyx is safe to trick could be forced, but he's going to go for a death back right now, trying to probably go super hyper offensive. Let him get a full chunk of health and just go in and try to do as much damage as possible. Got himself Remorseless Winter rolling. That's exactly what he's going to go for. Man, might be able to get himself an AMS rolling. Maybe necrotics will fall off. He can get himself a couple death strikes. Chicken coming out for Zakati. This is where Nyx can go for a bunch of death strikes back to back, even off of the pet. He's trying to catch up to Zakati ASAP. Zakati's super low in health. Needs to get himself a death strike as well. It could be anyone's game between those two death knights. And as Zakati does go down, his spree got ended. Nyx just got himself a setup onto Zakati. The Frost DK. Oh, come on, Fortune. You couldn't let him get an honor duel? I swear. He could have let him get an honor duel just now. Zakati went for a big ol' 4-0, probably the fastest 4-0. And then I just clapped him out of there, man. But Deathback wasn't CD. Rest in peace, Deathback. So close though, man, so close. I told you, Frost Death Knight survivability, man. More death strikes. He just went for damage at one point. Zakati had him surrounded by the army. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna death back and get myself some offensives going. And Zakati just should have played defensive from there. If you don't even allow a Frost Death Knight get any of those Remorseless Winter BS up there, dude. You're gonna have a bad time. I like that though.